Welcome to another episode of the Cool Tools Show and Tell. Our special guest this week is Joe Wright. Hey, Joe, would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners and watchers?
Yeah, I'm Joe Wright. I'm a software engineer living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
And we are really delighted to have you, Joe. For those who are listening, Joe's sitting in a nice, warehouse, workshop full of all kinds of gear, basement, garage, who knows? But he's got tools. So, Joe, tell us about your first tool.
All right. Um, they're all my tools are kind of simple, but I think there's something extra to all of them. But the first one is this Benchmade Bugout knife. It's just like 5-inch long foldable knife. Um, they have them in different colors, but the main I've been looking to upgrade my knife for a while, and I was thinking about what do I do with the knife, and the main nice feature about the Bugouts are that they are very lightweight. And I was researching them, and I was concerned that they were flimsy, but I just wanted to attest that it's very solid for the things I want to do. And the other nice feature is that you can open them up with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
I just was realizing that I have a bunch of folding knives that I like, but I'm often getting a package. Like, you always have one hand busy. You
Right.
want to pull it out of your pocket and just open and close it easily.
Right.
So I really like this.
So this is a black powder coater or anodized. I'm not really sure what the coating is on it. It's black. And it's fairly simple. It's just a single blade that folds into itself, has a belt clip. What I would imagine that there are a number of different makes of knife that are similar to that in being lightweight and one hand foldable, or is that the only one?
No, there's a lot.
And why would
But
this one be superior to those?
I think Benchmade is known for their lightweight knives. But the combination of being lightweight and small, and like the the action is very smooth. Just that combination is just it's well executed.
Okay. And it's lightweight because the handle is carbon fiber.
Um, Something like that.
Okay. Um, because it has that look.
It's a glass reinforced nylon, it says.
Glass reinforced nylon. Okay. Um, so it's like a fiberglass.
Yeah, I guess I'm not a great I don't nerd out on the metals and the materials, but I can just attest that it I mean it meets my needs of office stuff or cutting string most of the time.
Right.
I'm not mending fences with it.
Right, right. And so it's listed at $160. Is that the right one? I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. Um, so it's called a bug out because usually people store it in their bug out bag. The idea being that it's lightweight, you need to carry it around. Is that the idea?
Yeah. I guess ultralight campers like I was watching reviewers talk about it in that context. The thing I like about the thing I had a problem with the heavier knives was that they weigh your pants down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're like
Right.
if you're running, they
Right,
might
right.
bounce out.
I'm reaching into my pocket to pull out the knife that I carry. It's my 99 cents plastic box cutter, which I open up with one hand.
Oh,
It's very, very lightweight. It weighs grams. If I lose it, I don't care.
you've outdone me.
And I carry it all. I have one in each one of my pants pockets. I always have one, and I use it all the time for everything. Um, that's great because this won't last. If I am somewhere where it's gonna be for a long time, this won't make it because it's just made out of plastic. So what's your second tool, Joe? What's another tool that you would hate to miss?
Yeah. Second tool is a it's kind of another simple thing, but really well executed. It's from County Comm, and it's a parts tray.
Huh,
Um,
parts
it's
tray. Okay. It's a
so
tray. Like some people use cafeteria trays, but you have this as a fancy one. How is it better than your cafeteria tray?
yeah, it's made out of silicone.
Right.
They have a couple of different sizes. I think it's kind of more intended for maybe gun disassembly. It
Uh-huh.
has this dimpling texture
Oh,
on
okay.
the
Yeah, I see. All right. So you're showing what he's holding up is a tray that's kind of flimsy, flexible, like made out of silicon. It's a tray with the shallow edges on around it. And then the dimpling on the surface of it, I guess it's kind of grippy, maybe, so that things don't slide around.
well, it's grippy on the bottom, which is a problem with plastic trays.
Hmm.
And is the dimpling does kind of keep screws and things from getting too much velocity if you move it around here. Um, so the other really cool part of this one is it glows in the dark.
Oh, all right. So why is that? Is that just cool, or is there some use for that?
It At first I thought it was just cool, but I found it really nice and practical for cra for cramp for camping. County Comm has like a really good recipe for glow in the dark material. They make some other glow in the dark things,
Huh?
and I'm really impressed with how much light it can charge up with.
All right.
So at night it's self-luminous without even trying,
Okay.
and in camping it can you can help orient yourself on a workspace, or you can see the things you're laying out onto it.
Okay.
So I have one by my bed, and I just, drop my AirPods, or I hate having my chapstick roll off the counter.
Okay. All right. So you could do a smaller version near your bed where you can put things on the night table and it glows in the dark. So even at night you can find things. That would be a great example. Um, and so they make you say they make smaller versions of it?
Yeah, I have a smaller version
Oh, there you go.
here, but this one doesn't glow in the dark.
Oh, okay. But again, it's you're holding up a small tray. Again, it's rectangular with maybe half-inch high, 20 centimeters or something of edge. And yeah, it would, and it's probably not going to slide on a table. So pretty, what's the word? Would anchor on a table very easily.
Hmm.
Um, and the maker of that is, you say it's called, what's it called? The
County County Comm.
County Comm. Okay. Um, yeah, and they have uses of it like for dental assembly and yeah, for also emptying your pockets as a place to empty your pockets.
I'd recommend showing the images that they have. It's kind of hard to see, but when I turn off my lights in my room, I can see all these glowing trays.
Yeah.
and it's bright. So it's kind of a testing to their glow in the dark recipe with their other stuff
Okay.
too.
So if you need something to glow, I mean, I could see a function for the bedroom where you are. And then camping, yes, if you needed trays to keep track. If you were kind of maybe having to work at night out in the field, that might be something um, that would be beneficial. So Joe, what's your third tool?
Third tool is this Snow Peak in double walled vacuum stainless steel mug.
Hmm.
It's it's kind of it's also basic. I think no, I think most people are aware of these, but I really I've bought one like 7 years ago, and I use it every day, and I love it.
And you're holding up a stainless steel mug, like a coffee mug. Um, but the main news here is that this is like a thermos. This is like a vacuum thermos. So it's a vacuum inside, which is the best insulator. So it keeps things warm or cold. But it's also not made out of glass like a lot of the original thermoses. It's made out of stainless steel, so it can't break. So it's perfect for backpacking. Um, is it pretty light?
Yeah. Um, Again, like they make there's a ton of vacuum double walled mugs out there, but I find them too bulky.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it works with the AeroPress perfectly, and I make my Americano, and it will last all day. Um,
You mean the heat? What do you mean last all day? What will last all day?
I guess it will the heat it'll keep my coffee hot. Not literally all day, but long enough that it's not an issue.
Okay,
It's never an issue.
right. Until it's gone. So yeah, so Snow Peak is a pretty reputable brand with other outdoor gear. Um, so I imagine the quality is pretty good. Um, and is there anything else? As you said, other people make them, and again, you prefer this one because of its size, because it's a little bit trimmer, slimmer, smaller. Um,
Yeah,
and it has a cap as well.
yeah, the silicone lid doesn't come with it.
Okay,
Um, they make different sizes, and they make a titanium one which weighs nothing. Um, the silicone mug, the lid is really nice compared to like the plastic lids you get with the other
uh-huh.
ones. It
Right.
just feels feels better.
The titanium one is the main drawback of that its price, or is there other issues with why not get the lightest one?
Well, I do have the titanium one.
Okay,
It doesn't actually, yeah, it doesn't keep things. It loses heat faster.
right, because it's more conductive.
Um, this stainless steel one is very sealed. The silicone lid adds to that. It has minimal. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like any lid, but it has
right.
two vents.
Yeah. Okay. So if you weren't backpacking, you can use the stainless steel one, but if you're backpacking, you might want to consider the titanium one.
Well, there's an aesthetic thing too. Snow Peak is kind of a fashionable brand, a fashionable camping brand.
Mm.
But this titanium and metal stuff and the way it folds, it just makes you feel like you're using like NASA technology, you know. So there's
Yes.
a aesthetic to that.
Okay.
Um, the one it's kind of a an extra cool tool, but I find that the I learned that if you don't clean the coffee out of your mug, it like imparts a flavor, like it builds up a coating of the coffee residue, and it makes the coffee taste better. And I found this out because I cleaned it once, and my coffee tasted bad. So I
So
think
the
there's
idea is like don't wash out the coffee cup, and after several years, you'll have this amazingly deep flavor.
correct. I was looking into this and I've read some old archives of like Navy magazines talking about this where they'll reprimand a, a worker who accidentally cleans the coffee pot. So I accidentally found this out and that's like my little cool tool hack on top of this one.
That
So
is really great. I
I
mean, it's like seasoning a cast iron pan.
yeah, I've heard the same thing with like woks or ramen noodle shops. They'll clean their pots one week and you can taste the difference.
Uh,
I think the metal inside um adheres
yeah.
whatever better than glass or
Uh-huh.
plastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it removes any metallic taste.
So like to me this was a perfect coffee mug. It fits the AeroPress perfectly.
Okay. That's a really great suggestion. So Joe, tell us your fourth tool.
Fourth tool is this. Well, it's not just this Seiko chess clock. It's any
Okay, you're going
analog
up a
chess.
little double barrel, little case, the size of a paperback book, a little thicker than that, with two clocks on it, with two buttons on the top. And it's for playing chess, right? Where each side has their own clock.
Yep, just it's basically two analog clocks, and they have a toggle. So you press one, and it activates the other one.
And
You
is that hours that's showing there? It's just 1 to 12. Is that hours or is that minutes?
well, it's literally just two analog clocks.
Okay.
So it's keeping time like you'd normally see, and that adds a lot. That makes it very flexible for any time. But I use it for timekeeping.
Use
So
it for keeping?
timekeeping.
Timekeeping. Well, what do you mean by timekeeping?
So like during COVID, I started working from home, and you want to have work-life balance.
Okay.
So I designated this one to be on the clock on my job,
Okay.
and this one is not on the clock. So I can clock in and out if I get distracted, you
Okay.
know.
So you can keep track of your hours, like work timekeeping for work.
Right.
Okay.
So it's pretty free form.
What are
Like
so there's a little red dial that hangs up around 11 o'clock. What's that?
this is why the analog clock is the cool version. You know, the digital ones don't have these mechanical features, but that's the flag. And in chess, so as your time runs out, the minute hand will catch that flag. So the flag it catches it and it's being elevated, and then once it passes the 12 o'clock mark, the flag will drop.
Oh, okay.
And that's a neat little mechanical feature in chess. The opponent, after the flag is dropped, it's the opponent's job to announce that and say game over.
Okay. So the way you would use that for chess is to set the both clocks with the time allowed.
Yeah, it can be a little confusing, but if you wanted like a 30-minute game, you
You
just
put
set
it
it.
at 12:30
Yeah, and you
or
work backwards so that the flag will drop
11:30, I guess, because it drops at 12 o'clock or just on the hour for anything.
on the hour for everything.
Okay.
The hour hand doesn't
Right. Right.
hit that flag.
Okay.
And
Wow.
and while we're the other little mechanical feature is the middle the middle dial is like golden painted.
like a
And so,
golden cross in the middle where the minute and the hour hand meet. That's fulcrum is a golden cross. What's that about?
all that does is just let you see the glimmer of a light, and it tells you, it can just from the corner of your eye you can tell which one's moving.
Oh,
It's
it's it's the second hand basically. It's showing it's going around like a second hand, but it's not a full hand. It's just a little nub.
and all it's doing is creating a little glimmer of reflectance because it's irregularly shaped.
So I wonder why they don't want to have a second hand. Maybe that's distracting.
Yeah. But I set both of them to like, starting backwards. You set them both to midnight at the start of the day,
Yeah.
and then just time at the end of the day you can see what proportion you had.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then, I'm a programmer, so I can get lost in time, and
Is
that
it good news
helps.
or bad news?
It is what it is.
Okay. Well, what I mean is, are you trying to minimize the amount of time you spend working or maximizing it?
Well, I found just knowing the time, no, like just helps you manage it better.
Okay.
Because you'll feel like you spent too long on a problem, and
Hmm.
then you look, and I don't have a good mental clock. So with the red flag, that also tells you that also reminds you that an hour just passed. So I put it behind, I have it a little visible, but the flag is just a little movement, and then it can remind me to check the time. So that little flag feature is
Hmm.
nice.
Okay, it's cool. So that's a Seiko chess clock. Um, Something that I'd never really paid attention to. I mean, I'd seen them in movies. Um,
Yeah.
that's Seiko, and they're $67.
Yeah.
Cool.
They might be a little. I shopped around. This model I chose because it looked nice. I ordered a cool Soviet looking one, but the order got rejected. But I was looking for those mechanical features,
Uh-huh.
and Seiko is like a reliable
Yeah, yeah.
watchmaker.
It's a Japanese watch, yeah. Um, well, that's really fabulous. Joe, thank you for those very unusual and unorthodox and unconventional tools, which we love. Thank you. So tell us about your passion project or something you want to share with our audience.
Well, I'm a software engineer living in Pittsburgh. I really don't have anything to promote, but if you're working on a cool project, especially like in environmental causes, you can find me on Twitter. Um, I'm a I'm a software engineer, and I do full stack, so I can do front end. I understand machine learning concepts pretty well. So if you're living around Pittsburgh and you have a cool project, or want to see if we can help make the city smell better, you know, with the cracker plants that they have.
Are
I
you still operating?
Yeah,
No.
there's some there's some there's a lot of industry happening. So I guess my cause, if I had one message to say on your platform, is just to try to let's not try to pollute as much. You
Hmm.
know, it accumulates and can be and have compounding effects.
Yeah, absolutely. and there's lots of happening that we're not even aware of because they don't make much difference in large levels, but they can make a big difference with chronic exposure to very small amounts, like, forever plastics and things, microplastics, which we're not even fully aware of yet. That they're hard to detect and hard to measure their effects, because their real effects are chronic exposures, and that makes it hard to do experiments. So yeah, I'm glad you are on to smells are part of that. Very low percentages, very low thresholds, and I wish you best in your efforts. Thank you for sharing your cool tool picks and for volunteering this. We appreciate your being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
This year, our Cool Tools blog will be 20 years old, which means we've been posting something new every day for 20 years. It's only possible because of the very engaged and knowledgeable readers and listeners like yourself. You've kept this place going, and we are very grateful for you. With this idea of 20 years in mind, we decided to try an experiment this year, and I'm inviting our guests and listeners to join me on our Cool Tool Show and Tell, which is the program that you're listening to right now. So if you feel you'd make a good guest on this podcast and have 4 uncommon tools that you'd like to share with us, please sign up on our form on the website, and we'll see about inviting you. You must be comfortable talking on a video, and you need to have some tools that you can show. We record on, as you know, on Zoom. We do a YouTube version, a video version of it, as well as an audible version. Fill out the form if you're interested, and list your 4 cool tools, and we'll see if there's a good fit. The applications aren't guaranteed in any way, and we're looking at tools that are new to us and appropriate tools, and whether the times will work for you. So we're really interested in hearing from people all over the world, not just in the US, although the tools have to be available online, easily available online. And if you are a longtime listener, you kind of know what the definition of our tools are. They're very broad. They can be anything that's handy, from something in the kitchen to something you use to travel, to a workshop, to something professional that we may not know about. We're really interested in things that we don't know anything about. So this is an open invitation. We'll give it a try. If you think you make a good guest for this podcast, fill out the form. There'll be a link somewhere on our website, and we look forward to chatting with you. Thank you.